期待冬奥盛事，感受冰雪魅力。
现在呢，正值是
Olympic Winter Games. Now let's get some warm up, and it's the national day right now, and in a few months, Beijing will be hosting the Olympic Winter Games. As we approach that day, we are making some last-moment preparations. In the just concluded September, we have unleashed the slogans for the Beijing 2022. Together, marching towards the future. And that is the slogan that we have unleashed for Beijing 2022. In order to tell a good China story and express and send our voice out to the international audience, we have to engage in some outreach program. And right now, we are undergoing some full process drills and practices. And this will cover the broadcasting, the cartoons, the display of logos, and also stage setting. The drill aims at practicing all the different elements of the Olympic Winter Games. And this is just a test event that lasted for 3 days, covering both ice sports and winter sports. The organizer has invited professional athletes and judges and referees from around the world. It simulated the scenario of the games time, and it basically looks at whether we are ready in all respects. Between October and November, there will be some test matches organized, and on 5th of October, and that is in 2 days, the first test match will be organized in the Yanqing Game Zone. So how is Yanqing doing right now? Now let's get connected with our colleague. So we are only 124 days away from the Olympic Winter Games, and in 2 days, on October the 5th, the bobsleigh and sledge will organize a test match. Because the Winter Olympics, some of the items can be very risky and it's very challenging. So that is why we organize an international training week. So how is Yanqing doing? You can see that right now they have completed a lot of the work, and all the conditions are met. So this international training week is a major step since we have kicked off the test match. And it's the first time that we have brought international athletes and the referees. So we are also observing the latest measures for COVID-19 control, and we have in place closed-loop management so as to minimize the risk of COVID-19 transmission. As for how many athletes and how many countries will be able to send their athletes, stay tuned, because tomorrow there will be a press release. Well, let me also report to you the readiness of different participating countries. And right now, bobsleigh and the sledge, 3 national teams, they have conducted some trainings here. But the bobsleigh team will not participate in this week's International Training Week, and sling and luge, and they will continue with their closed-the-door training. And at the end of October, they will participate in some qualification matches. And by the end of January next year, they will come back to China and get ready for the final moment of the Olympics. The bobsleigh national team will conduct some trainings overseas in Europe, and they hope to win the qualification for the Olympic Winter Games. And after they come back, they will participate in more similar matches so as to consolidate their participation in the Olympic Winter Games in 2022. In Zhangjiakou and in Beijing, there will be more similar matches. And now I will bring you to the stadiums in Zhangjiakou and Beijing. So what I like is an Olympic Games that has embodied the traditional Chinese elements. So this is the Zhangjiakou Game Zone for Beijing 2022. Behind me is the first National Center for platform skiing. You can see that this is resembling the shape of ruyi, a traditional Chinese art piece. And right now the stadium is fully completed. It has been accepted. From where I'm standing right now, you can see this is the audience seats, and it can accommodate 10,000 spectators. In between those two rows of spectator seats is a football field, and during the games time, it will be a rehearsal. It will be the lounge area. We have a vertical drop of 177 meters here on this skiing field. And also we have a gigantic platform or diving platform with the height of 143 meters. Here you can see we have two areas marked with blue and red. So this is simply to judge the performance of the athletes, and only when a diver falls into the blue area, then it will gain a score. And if he could manage landing the red box, then it's a much bigger or higher score. On one side of the ranch, you can see that we have elevators, and this will be able to elevate our athletes to the top. So this is an unprecedented facility in terms of the duration of construction and also the difficulties and challenges in construction. We can expect that by 2022, this is one of the most watched games. In addition to that, the Biathlon Center was also completed in the end of September. It has been accepted by the International Skiing Federation, and right now it's currently improving. And after the National Day holiday, the National Skiing Center and the Federation, the National Skiing Team, and the facility will also be accepted by IFs, and they will be ready for the test matches at the end of October. So we also wish to pay a visit there. So here comes the question: how should we get to Zhangjiakou the fastest way? Well, let me tell you, in 2019, one of the supporting facilities, Beijing to Zhangjiakou high-speed railway, was operational. It has a total length of it has a design speed of 374 kilometers per hour. And now let's bring you on board this train. Hi, this is the Beijing North Railway Station, and this is also the starting point of the Beijing-Zhangjiakou railway line. So each and every day during the games time, there will be a lot of trains setting out from here. And during the games time, we hope that you can just join us. So the train attendants, they will be wearing a pin, a special pin designed for the Winter Olympic Games. And on board this train, there are some special services. And let me just introduce you three of such services. And we have a smart band that those waitresses or those stewardess wear. And when they are patrolling, when they encounter some special guests, they will give a device to those passengers, and then they will be on call for the services required by those passengers. Although it's only 1 hour and a half on board of this train, we have provided some safety cushions specifically for the kids. And when this is stretched, it has a length of more than 1 meter, so that will bring a lot of comfort to those watching the game with their children. And there's another highlight, and starting from the first day of November, you can see that we have a new visual design. It's a new color identity, and that will be a new scenery line on this railway route. Another feature I would like to show you is the business class seats. And we'll enter into this compartment. You will see the logos of the Olympic Games and also the special stickers on the walls of the compartments, and we have also better lighting standards and conditions, and we also have wireless charging for your phone, and you can adjust your seat to different angles. Well, after introducing you those services, and now let me tell you the cockpit or the driver's cabin. And so in the morning they drive in the driver's cabin, but in the evening they will conduct a routine maintenance in order to guarantee safety of operation. They applied some robots to assist their maintenance work. So smart maintenance robots will make it easier for all the human crew, and that is representing the top-notch class of maintenance in the world. So this is what they can offer in 2022. They have the very smart robots for maintenances. They will provide you with a comfort journey with their very intelligent services. So this is truly a very good introduction, and I believe that we are ready in all respects. So we are looking forward to the Beijing 2022. As we talk about the preparedness, we have to talk about COVID-19 prevention. And on September 29th, the International Olympic Committee has reviewed the COVID-19 policies of Beijing, and in terms of vaccination, we follow the principle of wide coverage, and all those that have to be vaccinated, they must be vaccinated. And also, we do not sell tickets for overseas spectators, and tickets will be only available for Chinese spectators. At the end of this month, we are going to release the first version of COVID-19 prevention and control measures, and that will cover a lot of the preparations in terms of traffic, transportation, as well as accommodation. And we are going to have an interview with all those responsible persons from the organizing committee so as to gain some understanding about our preparedness for the games. The first one taking our questions will be Yu Debing, who is the director of Games Service Department of the Organizing Committee of Beijing 2022. He will give us some more information about anti-doping, about COVID-19 prevention and control. So I'm in charge of 5 different areas. I can tell you we are ready. We are making steady progresses in terms of accommodation. We are working closely together with the hotels in Beijing, in Zhangjiakou, as well as in Yanqing. We have signed contracts with 103 hotels. In the meantime, we are star rating those hotels. We also post some requirements on COVID-19 prevention and control. We would observe those international practices, and we'll work together to release some additional COVID-19 prevention rules so that each and everybody will be able to attend the Beijing 2022 Winter Games in a safe manner. And by the end of this month, we're going to release the first version of COVID-19 rules. We will also help relevant stakeholders to familiarize with those requirements. And they will also gain some understanding about the domestic requirements and rules here in China so that they will understand what is the table manners, what is the food culture. So in addition to some Western food, we will also incorporate some traditional Chinese elements. For example, the traditional Chinese Spring Festival elements, and we have prepared some roasted dog, for example, typical food that the Chinese people eat during Spring Festival, and we will make some meticulous preparations in terms of food so that they can win medals, they can have very good performance. And we are also committed to anti-doping, and we have established anti-doping test centers in 3 of the games zones. Going forward, we are going to refine the systems, standards, procedures, and testing methodologies. Through trainings, we will make sure that all the principles of fairness and transparency will be put on ground so that we can help the international community achieve a clean games. And we know that we have 7 sports, and those are skiing, skating, ice hockey, curling, as well as alpine skiing, and biathlon. And today we're going to gain more knowledge about curling. And curling is recognized as the chess on ice. It's a challenging game, testing the perseverance and wisdom of all the players. In Beijing 2022, we're going to have 3 medals in curling, and that is the men's curling, women's curling, and mixed curling. So now let me get to know more about this game. Curling is the game with yelling and also a rock.
curling 卷曲的由来。每局比赛中，队员可以利用防守弧挡住大本营，利用投影弧试图得分，或使用击打弧移除对手冰壶。队长会在接下来的时间里疯狂地喊叫。实际上，队长在通过喊叫指导队员们在冰壶前刷冰。刷冰能极大地影响冰壶滑行的速度和方向。每队投掷8只冰壶后，冰壶离大本营中心最近的队伍将得分。如果有不止1只冰壶比对手任意冰壶离大本营中心更近，每只更近的冰壶都可计分。所有局结束后，得分最高的队伍获胜。除了其他几十个小细节，这些就是冰壶比赛的基本内容。
彤彤有没有觉得冰壶这项运动非常的不简单？就是它。
So this is curling. This is truly challenging. It may look very calm, but behind the calmness there is this competition, very fierce. And I feel that this is quite similar to Chinese philosophy. For example, how do you get rid of the crisis and also find opportunity? And how do you maintain calm in this game? So that is the chill of this game. So you will need to have strong muscles as well as a strong heart. So, and also bear in mind that you have your teammates that are sweeping the floor. And I was told that at the most challenging moment, their heart can beat 180 times per minute. So truly, this is a game combining stamina as well as wisdom. I have been recollecting the fantastic game in 2009, and that was the women's curling competition organized by South Korea. And in that game, we were the champion, and that was a fantastic game. I believe that a lot of you have similar recollections, and now let's go back to this game. So this is the final throw, the final delivery. Maintaining the line. It's a fantastic takeout. Congratulations, the championship goes to the Chinese team. The skip Wang Bingyu secured the score to 8-6. Well, I believe there is luck in it. So we are not doing very well, and you may not know that your opponents, they are more nervous. They're in a much more inferior situation. So this is actually a result of persistence and perseverance. And in 2003, they registered the first national team. And at that time, there was a huge gap between China and the other countries. And so that is why in 2004, they went to Canada for a very intense training. At the very beginning, they were just beaten up by opponents from other countries. So when we first went to other countries, and we found out that we cannot even beat those amateurs. So that is why we started learning with those amateurs first, and then with those professionals. In 2005, and they participated in a world championship for the first time. Although they didn't gain any medals, this has inspired their efforts going forward. And my coach told me that, hey, do you want to one day become the championship? Yes, of course. And we want to be the champion. We want to see our national flag raised at the competition zone. So ever since then, they have been taking solid steps one by one. And in 2008, they participated in the championship. And in 2009, they became the champion. And in 2010, they participated in the Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver. And they ended up top 4. And at the final match with Sweden, they have encountered many errors and mistakes. So it was a great pity. So I have been crying the whole afternoon, and I don't feel very well, and because I do feel very bad about myself. Because the next day I will have to compete for the final end at the Winter Olympic Games. After adjusting their mood, then the next day, the final day of their performance, and they secured a bronze medal after beating the national team from Switzerland. And this is also the first medal from the Chinese curling national team in the Olympic Winter Games. And then they participated in the Incheon Olympic Winter Games, but very unfortunate, they didn't secure a medal. And in 2016, she retired and joined the organizing committee of Beijing 2022. Well, although it's a pity, but I believe that she is lucky and she is able to contribute further to the games. So in the future, she can contribute to this game from a much wider perspective. So she is the representative of the first generation of curling players in China, and she has helped create history for China. And I hope that more people can fall in love with curling, and they can expect surprises while holding their breath in this calm competition. Well, I believe that in the Beijing 2022, the National Aquatics Center will be hosting the curling competition. So by 2022, the water cubic will be transformed into a ice cubic, and that will be accommodating the curling and skating in 2022. The National Aquatics Center, or Water Cubic, in 2008, it was the swimming center for diving, for figure swimming. So it was a place that has witnessed the realization of dreams of many swimmers and divers. But in 2022, it will be transformed into a ice cube. So this is a marvelous place, and you wouldn't believe it. I'm on top of the National Aquatics Center. You can see these giant bubbles under the sun. They are just like one crystal stone. It's very hard to imagine that the roof of a building is elastic and it's like a bubble. And I can give you more vivid demo, and after permitted by the working staff of the building, I'm allowed to climb on top of this bubble, and I can even make some jumps here. You may have one question. So this is the film structure. Will it be able to hold? Well, I can tell you there should be no worries on that. You can drive a car here, and not to mention a person. So this is the world's largest film structure, and each bubble is different from one another. It covers a total of 105,000 square meters. The thickness of the film is only 0.25 millimeters. So the water cubic is a fantastic place for swimming competitions. So right now the fumes, they are above me, and I can reach the ceiling with my hand. So beneath those two layers of films, and there is one special layer that can reflect the sunshine, and also we have natural ventilation. In summer, it can remove this outer layer. It can allow more heat to be dispersed outward. But in winter, we can supplement this additional layer on top of the ceiling so that it will hold the warmth inside. By 2022, it will accommodate the curling and skating, so we have to engage in some renovations. So how should we do that? Good morning. So I'm joined by the chief engineer, Shi Yuqiao, of the National Aquatics Center. So this is a magic place. So we are now at the command center of the water cubic. So this is the command center of the National Aquatics Center, and we cover fire control, ticketing, maintenance, so we can ensure that every sector works in a coordinated manner. Here we can manage or control the temperature. For curling, as you know, this is a ice sport, and it has a lot of requirements in terms of temperature. The temperature has to be maintained at minus 8.5 degrees. And above the ice, it should be 1.5 to 2 centigrades, and the audience seats, they should have a temperature between 16 to 20 degrees. So the water cubic was the center for a swimming competition in the Summer Olympic Games, and in winter it will be transformed into the ground that accommodates curling. So the water cubic is now transformed into a ice cubic. So how did it manage to do so? Now take a look at this model. This is a model for curling. So first they pump the water out, they build steel structures, and then added a layer, floor layer on that, and then they added textile and fabrics, and also the very thin and tiny pipes for ice making. And within 1 week, it can be transformed into a curling ground. It features 4 lanes with the length of 44.5 meters and with the width of 5 meters. In the coming months, it will accommodate 2 test matches. And we found a small area of ice, and let me bring you closer to that place. So this is the Beijing Sports University. The university has set up a skating rink for the Beijing 2022, and it's up to the standards of international games, and it's cultivating talents and athletes for the Winter Olympics. And today they have a curling class, and let me have some hands-on experience. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. So why is she able to slide this far? 1. Make sure that your shoulder is in square. Hold up your head. The 2 is to lean back a little bit. 3. Throw. Fantastic. So now you can try out the delivery. The delivery is the throw. Well, I believe this is very heavy, and this weighs 19.96 kilos. Swing, swing, release. So this is my first delivery of the curling ball, the curling rock, and you can add a little bit of weight. I think I have lost the balance after the delivery. So for this round of delivery, and after you release, make sure that you have sufficient weight, and I will have 2 sweepers, and they're gonna make it easier for you to deliver the rock to the house. All right, this time add a little bit of weight. Very good. Sweepers, and watch your force and weight, and watch the line. Fantastic. So this is the end of today's curling class, and how did I perform? Well, for beginners, you are doing already fantastic. Well, I feel body pain all over my body, but I hope that one day you will also develop an interest in this game so that we can share the charm of this game. Last year, the International Curling Federation released the list of technical officials, and in China we have 4 officials or 4 referees joining the International Curling Federation. And today let's get to know one of the referees and hear his story with curling. So this is a measuring stick. We have one very accurate system, and you have to first put the stick at the bottom and then stretch out the measuring stick. And you can see that which rock is closer to the bottom, and from the stick you can see that the yellow rock is closer to the bottom. My name is Wang Ju. I'm a coach of curling. I'm also a referee for the Olympic Winter Games. From a curling player to a referee, it took him 10 years. In 2015, with Beijing winning a bid of Olympic Winter Games, Wang Jue became a player in Shanghai. The Shanghai Curling Association approached him, and then 2 years later, he became a referee at an international game. So the first time I judged an international competition, it was pretty challenging. Whenever I heard some voice from my mic, I was pretty nervous, and I believed that someone is giving me cues. So in addition to scoring and judging the performance, a referee is seldom in a footage of the game, but according to Wang Jue, the less he appears, the more smooth the game is. So the referee is to maintain the orderly conduction of the game, and it has to coordinate with all the stakeholders. Well, after receiving the invitation for the Beijing 2022, he was more than excited. Well, I would demonstrate the image of referee as a Chinese, and I will also make room for all the athletes so that they can be their best and they can show the world a fantastic game.
Beijing.
So the footage came from July 31st, 2015 at the 181st IOC General Assembly. The chairman of IOC announced that Beijing officially won the bid, and today we have with us Shen Xue. So back in 2015, you were one of the ambassadors for Beijing's bidding efforts. How did you feel at that moment? Truly, it was very exciting. As a skater, at normal times after a game, we sit on the couch and wait for the score. So at that moment, I was just very quiet and calm, and I was reading out Beijing, Beijing in my heart. And when I finally heard the word Beijing, I was the first to jump off from my chair. So over the years, you have been preparing for the games. So what are the preparations that you have made after winning the bid? I have been busy with, for example, renovating the stadiums in Beijing, and later this month we are going to kick off the test matches. We have been making preparations in all fronts. As a female, we have a lot of you're the envy of all the females because you are at the peak of your career, and also you are working together with a lot of excellent individuals. And so I'm partnering with Zhao Hongbo. So may I ask you, what is your husband doing? Well, it's Mr. Zhao. He has been the coach of the national skating team over the past few years. He has been leading the Chinese team, preparing for Olympic Winter Games 2022. We don't meet often because they are practicing in a very confined or closed space. He's very concentrated because he has to follow the progress of each and every athlete. He needs to make decisions, for example, at what time should we supplement another athlete. So they are working every hour, every minute for this final moment. So in 2010, at the Vancouver Winter Olympic Games, and you won the gold medal with your husband, and you won the gold medal for figure skating. You were in red. It's a fantastic moment because you brought the first gold medal for Olympic Winter Games for China. So how did you feel at that time? Well, it was a great excitement because this is a result after generations of efforts. After winning the championship at the Olympic Games, and bear in mind that was the 18th year since we started working together. Truly, it was a hard one, and I heard that Zhao Hongbu was having some injuries at his leg. So this is a result of persistence and perseverance. We had a break of 2 years, and we made the right decision of coming back to the Olympic Winter Games. And we said that if we didn't come back, we would miss the opportunity in our lifetime. And at that year, Hongbu was already 37 years old. And to realize our games, we came back to the skating rink. But we were very lucky. We won support from the government. We have a lot of teammates, and they give us a lot of support. So that is why we could win the championship. We also broke the record because for a very long period of time, Russia has been on top of the rally, on top of the tally. So truly, you said it very well. This is the result of many years of efforts. And today we have worked out a clip, and this is simply a recap of those fantastic moments.
哇，你看看花滑的时候会有什么样的感觉？就是我们外行人会觉得哇，好紧张，会不会摔下来？
It's marvelous, and for ordinary folks like us, and we may have a lot of worries that we may fall on the ground. Well, figure skating is quite challenging, and there is a lot of competition in it. You need to exceed your personal best, and there is also an artistic element in it. There is the music, there is the story, and there is the telling of the story. So it's only 4 minutes, but within that 4 minutes, the athletes, they are able to tell a story, be it a love story or a story of a different kind. So you have to master the different movements, and also you need to have a taste of music. So when we are doing some very difficult moves, for example, one skater holding up the other one, you need to perfectly match the moves with the music, with the tone of the music. So when you were working with Mr. Zhang, which part do you think is more challenging, the artistic part or the athletic part? Well, I can tell you at the beginning stage, it's more challenging from a technical, from a athletic perspective. But when you participate in an international game, the referees, they will tell you that you're not doing perfectly well in terms of artistic performance. So that is why we have been making great efforts. So we would stare in each other's eyes, and sometimes we may burst into laughter, and that is why we fell on the ground many times. But gradually, you learn how to have eye contact with your partner. You need to demonstrate your mind and mood, and it's only when you are skating with your heart can you win the audience and win the referees giving you scores for your performance. So I think that for ordinary spectators like us, we may be able to understand the artistic side, but we are lagging behind in terms of the technical moves. And now let's move to the skating rink in Beijing and see how they are preparing for Beijing 2022. I'm Wang Zichen. I'm 7 years and a half I've been skating for 3 years. I wasn't doing very well in the first 2 years. My name is Yang Cong. I'm 8 years old. I've been skating for 2 years. I've been doing my best for the past 2 years. Well, I used to think this is easy, but after learning it for a while, I came to understand that this is a very difficult game. I fell on the ground and it's pretty hard. So I think I have picked up some knowledge, and I know who is the best figure skater in China, and I know who is my idol. My name is He Qiyue. I'm 8 years old. I have been skating for 2 years and a half. The first time I set foot on the ice, I was accompanied by my coach. I was spinning on the ice. I was not very talented from the very beginning, but I don't know if I could make it to the very end, and if I'm lucky, I hope I can be an athlete at the Olympic Winter Games. My parents, they're both skaters. I studied skating when I was 6, and sometimes I'd lost my balance and fall on the ground, but when I grow up, I want to become a painter that can skate. I'm Yang Tongxi. I'm 11. I've been doing this for 3 years. It can foster a greater will, and it can also make you know more friends. I envy them. They are so adorable, and I believe skating is not all they have in their life, but truly this can help build their strength. I think they are very lucky because they have an idol like you, Shen Xue, and also China is making progress in every aspect, and a lot of them, they have the conditions of getting in love with this game. And I know your daughter is also skating, and what is your observation for her? Well, after China won a bid, and China has been committed to developing winter sports, and in the southern provinces in China, there are also a lot of skating rinks. You just go to a shopping mall and maybe there is a skating rink. So a lot of the kids, they can get on the skating rink, and also right now in China, the National Skating Association has introduced a certification system. So at different levels, there are games for the kids, and we hope that when they get in the world of skating, there are opportunities for them to show off their skills, no matter which level they are at. And bearing in mind that this is a skating rink of more than 1,200 square meters, and it's a great moment when the kids can take the podium and show their skills to the audience. So you're from Heilongjiang, and ice and snow sports, most of the players, they are from northeastern part of China. So in the future, what plans do we have to spread these games to the southern part of the country? Well, actually in southern cities in China, for example, Hangzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and over the past 2 years, we brought the China Cup to Chongqing. In Chongqing, we organized 2 consecutive games. That is the China Cup. So when we brought China Cup to Chongqing, we had a lot of doubts within our team because, in Chongqing, we worried that there may not be a lot of people who skate, but we never anticipated that, the first year was a great success. We have attracted a lot of international athletes, and also there were a lot of support from domestic spectators and athletes, so they instantaneously fell in love with Chongqing, and truly they have demonstrated their potential as skaters. So apart from skating and figure skating, there is another game that is very popular. In Jilin, there is a bunch of kids. So what do? They hold their sticks, they skate on a skating rink. And we have worked out a video clip, and let's get to know a captain of skating from a primary school. I just repeat the moves 10 times, 20 times, 40 times. If that's still not enough, then I would do 100 times. Can you go faster? How come I missed it? That's not possible. Follow up. So I was very excited when we won a game. My parents, they are also very thrilled. Only by hard training can you improve your skills. When others left, I stayed some extra hours on a skating rink. Well, I did some very simple calculations, and he has worn out 10 sticks. He's pretty hardworking. So we also take videos to record those moments. Sometimes we lost the game. When I lost the game, and then the next game I have to win. So this is the ice hockey game, and so Shenxue just talked about Chongqing. And now let's move to Sichuan. It's another very special place. So this is a southern city, and now let's follow our cameraman and go to Sichuan. Welcome to Chengdu of Sichuan, and you may not believe it, and this is the southern city, but here you can find ice and snow. I mean, Dujiangyan, and this is the Rongchuang Snow World, and this is a gigantic snow world. That is the indoor facility, and you can see that we have many different skiing ranges. It has a gradient degree of 20 degrees, and this is the most steep rink, and this is the longest range. This is the medium range, and it has a total length of 380 meters. From here, you can train different tactics. So now let's come to the platform, and this is in between the medium and superb ranges. So I'm right now at an altitude of 20 floors of building, and so this is only a gradient of 21 degrees, but still for me it's pretty exhilarating. As we draw close to the Olympic Winter Games, the young kids and adults, they are all very passionate about skiing. And this is not just a physical training, but also a sport for your mental improvement. And this is a process of doing better than yourself. From here you can see that it's actually snowing, and this is man-made snow, and in today's interview we found out that this is again popular among the population. We encountered a lot of the kids, even toddlers, and this I believe will boost the physical strength of each and every one of you. I hope that more people can come to winter sports.
看好了，以后回四川老家过年可以去享受一下。
Fantastic. And later, when I go back to Sichuan, I can pay a visit to this skating facility. So we're drawing close to the Winter Olympic Games, and what are your expectations? Well, first, I hope that we can show the world a much more beautiful China so that we will welcome all the athletes from around the world so that they can leave some unforgettable memory here in this country. What are your expectations for the Chinese athletes? Well, I hope that they can have the best performance on the skating and skiing ranches, and this will also inspire the enthusiasm for winter sports across the country. So we have the best facility, and we are looking forward to the best performance amongst athletes.